Sasagutin ko lang po itong isang napakagandang katanungan mula sa aking followers sa YouTube na alam ko ay kakapulutan natin ng aral at impormasyon. So ito po ang kanyang tanong. Sir, maaari ba akong lumipat sa ibang employer kung wala namang mga paglabag na ginawa ang aking current employer dito sa Saudi Arabia? So just like what I have said, napaka-clever at napaka-smart na tanong na ito. Usually kasi yung mga tanong sa akin is paano ba lumipat kung may ganito or may ganyang ginawa yung aking current employer dito sa Saudi Arabia. So ang kanyang tanong po is, maaari ba tayong lumipat kung wala namang mga labor laws violation committed by your employer here in Saudi Arabia? To answer your question directly, yes, it is absolutely possible to transfer to another employer or sponsor here in Saudi Arabia kahit wala namang mga paglabag na ginawa ang ating employer dito sa Saudi Arabia. Posible po ito and it is allowed. However, meron pong pero. Dahil wala namang paglabag yung ating current employer dito sa Saudi Arabia, ang ating pong paglipat sa ibang company or ibang sponsor is subject to his approval or to his consent. Ano bang ibig sabihin nito? Ibig sabihin po nito ay maari po tayong lumipat sa ibang company or sponsor provided na yung ating current employer ay bibigyan po tayo ng permiso na lumipat. Ibig sabihin, kailangan po natin ng release from our current employer in order to transfer or to work to another sponsor or company here in Saudi Arabia. Bakit po ganon? Sapagkat, as you have said, wala namang mga violations or wala namang mga hindi magandang ginawa yung employer dito sa Saudi Arabia. Alright? So, posible pa rin po tayo na lumipat sa ibang company dito sa Saudi, but we have to seek consent from our current employer para tayo ay bigyan ng release. So, ang dapat natin gawin ay kausapin yung ating employer, ipaintindi mo sa kanya na gusto mong lumipat sa ibang company. Most likely, kung maayos naman ang inyong relasyon ay hindi naman nagdi-disagree yung mga companies or yung mga employer natin dito sa Saudi Arabia. Take note, there is also another way in order to transfer to another employer kung wala namang mga paglabag yung ating sponsor. So let's say for example, ayaw pumayag ng ating current employer for now dahil hindi kanya pinayagan dahil maybe hindi mo pa natapos ang inyong kontrata or maybe kailangan ka talaga niya for now sa yung trabaho or sa yung opisina. So there are actually changes and amendments of the labor laws here in Saudi Arabia recently. So marami pong mga pagbabago sa mga batas dito sa Saudi Arabia with regards to migrant workers and with regards to labor laws. So, ito po ang tandaan ninyo. Kung ayaw naman niyang pumayag dahil for him, maayos naman ang iyong kondisyon, maayos ang iyong ang inyong treatment, maayos ang inyong sahod, so wala talagang mga violations committed by your current employer. You can still transfer according to the article written by, I would like to quote the reference from ksaexpats.com. Okay, so makinig po kayong mabuti, this is very important. According to the Labor Code, paragraph 7, of item 2 of article 14, the expatriate worker has the right to transfer his services to another employer without the consent of the current employer upon the expiration of the period of the documented work contract. Naintindihan niyo po? Ang ibig pong sabihin is you have to understand, okay, this is from paragraph 7, item 2 of article 14. Sabi po doon, the expatriate worker, tayo daw, has the right to transfer our services to another employer without the consent of the current employer upon the expiration of the period of the documented contract. Ibig sabihin, kung wala namang mga paglabag yung ating current employer at hindi niya tayo pinayagan na lumipat sa ibang kumpanya o ibang sponsor, ay maaari pa rin tayong lumipat after or before the expiration of your contract. So let's say for example, ang yung kontrata is good for 1 year or 2 years. So bago po ito matapos, well, you have to notify your current employer before 90 days or yes, before 90 days or 3 months na ayaw mo nang mag-renew, ayaw mo nang bumalik sa kanya at nais mong mag-transfer sa ibang sponsor or sa ibang kumpanya. So ito po yung mga dapat ninyong gawin. So maaari pa rin po kayong lumipat kung wala namang mga paglabag ang inyong current employer dito sa Saudi Arabia. So the first way is of course you have to ask permission from your current employer na gusto mong lumipat. So kung papayagan ka niya, ay this is absolutely possible na na mag-transfer sa ibang employer dito sa Saudi Arabia. Ngayon, kung hindi ka naman niya papayagan is you have to use the other option, which is you can transfer according to Article 14, number 2, paragraph 7. It says that the expatriate worker has the right to transfer his services to another sponsor without the consent of his current employer upon the expiration of his contract. So, kung naintindihan po ninyo, maaari pa rin po kayong lumipat sa ibang sponsor kahit walang mga paglabag ang inyong current employer kung ang inyong kontrata ay magtatapos na. So, i-notify nyo lang po at least 90 days si current sponsor nyo na kayo ay lilipat sa ibang company. Well, let's say for example, hindi pa rin siya papayag. Well, this becomes a labor case. Kasi nga, pinipilit ka pa niyang magtrabaho, ayaw mo naman. While in fact, you really have the right to transfer your services to another sponsor or another employer here in Saudi Arabia. This is according to the new amendments of the labor laws of the migrant workers here in Saudi Arabia. Okay, so I hope na naintindihan niyo po itong aking mga sinasabi. And kung meron po kayong mga ibang katanungan ay huwag pong mag-atubiling mag-comment dyan sa baba. Maraming salamat po.